Welcome to another week of Beyond Spiritual Ministries. It's an honor and privilege to be back with you once more again. Hope you enjoyed your week and hope you enjoyed the message from last week. There needs to be sacrifice. This week we're stepping into something new. A lot of answers need to be answered, and turn me to the second book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 1 through 10. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 1 through 10. And while you're finding that, let's pray to the Father. Dear Father, we thank you for you've given us, Father. We welcome you into this place. Father, open our hearts to those who are watching and listening, and open the ears of those, my Father, that they receive your word. Not receive me, but to receive you. Not to hear me, my Father, but to hear you. We welcome you, Holy Spirit, to do what you see fit, to do the will of God. For that is the purpose of this world. We thank you for this opportunity. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 through 10. Oh, man, what an awesome week. What a long week. Very experiencing and trying week. Ready? Let's go. And it came to pass when the Lord was about to take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. Then Elijah said to Elisha, "Stay here, please, for the Lord has sent me unto Bethel." But Elisha said unto him, "As the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you." So they went down to Bethel. Now the sons of the prophet who were at Bethel came unto Elisha and said to him, "Do you know that the Lord will take away your master from you over you today?" And he said, "Yes, I know. Keep silent." Then Elijah said to Elisha, "Stay here, please, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho." But he said, "As the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you." So they came to Jericho. Now the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho came to Elisha and said to him, "Do you know that the Lord will take away your master from over you today?" So he answered, "Yes, I know. Keep silent." Then Elijah said to him, "Stay here, please, for the Lord has sent me to the Jordan." But he said, "As the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you." So the two of them went on. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood facing them at a distance, while the two of them stood by the Jordan. Now Elijah took his mantle, rolled it up, and struck the water, and it was divided this way and that, so that the two of them crossed over on dry ground. And it was so when they had crossed over that Elijah said to Elisha, "Ask, what may I do for you before I am taken away from you?" Elisha said, "Please let a double portion of your spirit be upon me." So he said, "You have asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if you see me when I am taken from you, it should be so for you. But if not, it should not be so." Today we're talking about the test. When people talk about the test, they talk about the test of life. That life in itself is a test. That each and every day we wake up and we face a test. Tests seem to be a part of this Christian walk. For God does not tempt us, but He tests us. God is like a professor. He's like a teacher. He's like a tutor. He's like a father. He's like a mother. He tests us in areas to make us stronger. But the kind of test that I am talking about is not the test of life. It's more so the test to your purpose. It's more so the final test to get that what you need. See, I could have called this the final test. I could have called this the last test. But I couldn't do that because the fact of calling this the test means that you're about to embark on a journey, whereas though when we take a test, we had to answer a multiple questions. And we had to do multiple things. So I just couldn't call this the final test or the last test, because in the test there are tests. Now we live in a life where everyone has a purpose, everyone has a desire. And some of you are questioning God, when is my time going to come? I've been with you. I've been doing the will of you. I did everything accurately right. And today God said, this is the test. This is it. It's completely over. There's no more worries. You're about to walk into that which I have promised you. You're on the threshold of that which I have promised you. You are on the crisp of the purpose. You are standing there looking at it. Elijah is a man who is so powerful. Talked about him last week, of how he killed the prophets of Baal, and thus called down rain from heaven. Thus, how he worked miracles that no other man has ever done in his time until Christ had came. Elijah asked God in chapter 17, chapter 19, I believe, and 1 Kings, he asked God to take him away from the earth because he was in fear of his life that Jezebel would kill him. So he feared. He feared life in itself. And God said, okay, if you want to go anoint the kings of this city and that city, and let's get this ball moving. So Elijah had to get his house in order. While Elijah is getting his house in order, God is trying to find him a replacement. So he meets a man named Elisha along the way. Throws his mantle on Elisha and says, come on, follow me. Elisha says to him, well, let me go back and do this and that for my family. And he says, go ahead and go and come on. So they come on. Now, in chapter 1 of 2 Kings, if we read, Elijah just called down fire from heaven twice upon these men, and he spoke to the king about how the king was going to die since he acquired of the false gods. Now, God told him, now chapter 2, God tells Elijah, I'm ready to take you to heaven. The Bible says that Elijah would be taken up by God into heaven by a whirlwind. So now, God's ready to take Elijah, and he has found his replacement. But in order to confirm that this is the right replacement, he has to test him. So the Bible says that Elijah and Elisha were in Gilgal, and they were sitting there chilling, and Elijah says to Elisha, he says, stay here in Gilgal, for God has called me to go to Bethel. And Elisha says something that's so true. He says, no. Long as God liveth, and long as your soul liveth, I will not leave you, nor will I abandon you. The Bible says that he went on with Elijah. Now, understand why this is so important for us to know. Elijah knew that God would take Elijah. Elisha knew that God would take Elijah at any moment. He didn't know when. He didn't know how, what time, and what place. So Elisha goes with him, not knowing what God was going to do and how God was going to do it. He went with Elijah knowing that at any moment's notice, he's going to be by himself. But God is testing Elisha through Elijah of, do you really want it? And if you really want it, will you go with me, knowing the possibility of me taking him is at a high, is at an all-time high. So they go. Now, while he's in Bethel, he meets these men, these sons of the prophets, and they say to him, do you not know that your master, that God's going to take your master from you today? And he said, yeah, well, very well, I know that this is true. I know that this is all true. So it was how likely that at any moment that God would take Elijah from him. And he tells the people, be quiet. I know it's true. I know it's true. I know the possibilities are high. So keep your silence. You don't have to remind me that God's going to take Elijah, because I already know that God's going to take him. So Elijah says to Elisha, listen, God has called me to Jericho. So you can stay here. Chill here for a little while. And he says, no way, Jose. I have to go with you to Jericho. Long as God lives, and long as your soul is still alive and breathing, I will be with you in Jericho. So they go to Jericho. And while in Jericho, he meets another group of prophets. They say unto him, do you not know that God would take your master from over you today? And he says, yes, I do. But keep your silence. I don't want to hear this negativity. I don't want to hear about what's going to happen. Let's focus on the present and not the future. So Elijah says to him, I'm going, God's called me to the Jordan. So you can stay here and all will be well. He says, no, long as God liveth, and long as that soul liveth, yea, shall I be with you. And he goes. And while they're at the Jordan River, while they're at the Jordan, there are prophets, the 50 prophets are watching over on the mountains. They're watching down to see what shall happen. So they're sitting there, and Elisha takes off his mantle. The mantle represents that he is a prophet. It represents the power of God. It represents it in all forms and fashions. He takes it off, he rolls it up, and he smacks the waters, and the waters split in front of the prophet. So they walk on dry ground, they cross over, and he says something to Elisha. He says something to Elisha. He says this: ask me, what do you desire, that I might give it unto you. Ask me, what do you want before I leave. Now he tells Elisha that I'm about to leave now. So whatever you desire, ask me right now. He says this. He says, listen, Elijah, I have seen you do so much stuff. I have seen and heard things about you. I saw you go to the heavens, heard about you raising the dead child, I heard about you killing the prophets of Baal, calling down fire from heaven, calling the rain again. I saw you do so much. What I want is a double portion of what you have. He says to him, well, that's a little bit too hard for me to get into you. But if you see me go, thus shall you have it. But if you do not see me, thus shall it not happen. Meaning that Elisha had to keep his eyes on Elijah while he went away. See, God was testing him through all of this. He was saying, in fact, to himself and all to heaven, I need another prophet to take Elijah's spot. But I had to test this man because I'm about to take Elijah, and I need a replacement. And he says, Elisha is the one that I want, but I have to test him to see if he's really built for this. So he allows Elijah to tell him on multiple occasions, stay here for a little while. See, this was the test. Elisha, stay here. God was saying, are you willing to stay here? Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to follow the rules? Or are you willing to say no? As long as God liveth, as long as thy soul liveth, I will be with you and never abandon you. Or are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing to break the laws? Are you ready to break the rules? Because Elijah's telling him the whole time, don't come with me, stay here. But he says, no, no, no. And he hears all of the naysayers say, do you not know that God's going to take your master away? Do you not know this? You're going to be alone. You're not going to have nobody around. Do you know? It was all a test. Because God was going to make him the next prophet of Israel. God knew that what Elijah really desired, with the double portion of the spirit of Elijah, what he really desired, he knew what he wanted. So he had to take him on his road, on his last journey, to get that which he desired. This is the final test. This is the final test for you. Are you willing to break everything, go over everything, do the impossible, keep on going, knowing that at any moment's notice, that anything can happen? See, the problem with life is that it's like a runner who runs the race. He sees the finish line and he becomes tired. He becomes weary. He just gets so overwhelmed with fatigue. He has two options. Either he runs harder or he slows down. He keeps going or he stays where he's at. Are you ready for that purpose? The Bible says that while they were talking, the angel of the Lord came in chariots of fire and took Elijah from heaven. Took him from the earth into heaven. The Bible says that Elisha ripped his garments and he fell down and he mourned for his master. He mourned for him. He says, he cried out in verse 12, he cried out and said, my father, the church of Israel and his horsemen. And he watched Elijah go up into heaven and saw him no more. The Bible says that the mantle of Elijah fell off of him. It fell off Elijah into the ground. Elisha walks over, and he picks up the mantle. And now he holds his purpose to be the next king of Israel. He holds his purpose in his hand. He holds his purpose in his hand. And he does exactly what Elijah does. He is a double portion of Elijah's spirit. God said things are about to get real tough. There is about to be a lot of roadblocks. But if you keep on pushing and keep on following me and keep on following the spirit that I have placed inside of you, you will be like Elisha. Because if you look at Elisha, he's on the Jordan River, symbolically to the children of Israel before they crossed over to the promised land. He's now looking at his promise afar off. He's looking at it. And the only thing that separates him from his promise and purpose is the waters that he once walked through. So he has to now activate the promise, activate his purpose. So he rose the mantle up and he smacks the water and he walks on dry ground. And those same 50 prophets who saw him cross over with Elijah sees him cross over by himself. And they say something to him very intriguing. The spirit of Elijah rushes upon him. He does have the spirit of Elijah on him. God said, in order to make Elisha the next most powerful prophet in the world, in all of Israel, I had to see, would he tell me no? I had to see, would he keep on following me? I had to see, would he even cross the waters with me? Knowing that he may not have no other transportation back. I wanted to see in him, would he answer me for the double portion of the spirit? I wanted to see, because Paul, I had it, I know he wanted it, and I wanted to give it unto him. God said, I know what my children want. I know what they desire. I know that their heart is tired, they're aching, and they're trying to figure out, am I going to be next? And he said, today is the day that the final test welcomes you. If you look at it symbolically, Elijah and Elisha are walking backwards out of the promised land. From Gilgal to Bethel, from Bethel to Jericho, from Jericho to the Jordan, from the Jordan to the other side of the Jordan. They are symbolically walking backwards for a reason. It's intriguing for him to walk. God is walking backwards. From the Jordan, he goes right to the Jordan. This reminds me of a man named Joshua, who sat on a Jordan bank and he watches the promised land in front of his eyes. Moses has just died and now he's leader of all of Israel. He's a prophet now. He's the man of God. He's the king now. He's a ruler. He's a leader. He's a captain of the army. And now he embarks on all of the promises of God. But the only thing that separates him is the water. Are you really ready for this? Are you really ready to tell God, no, I will follow you? Are you really ready to tell God, no, I'm not going to stay in a city, I'm going to go with you? Are you ready to tell God, no, I'm going to keep on investing. I'm going to keep on believing because I know that there is something